Hello there and welcome. Today we're back for another Shatterpoint deployment video. This time we're going to be talking about Savage Opress because my last video about the handmaidens was positively received, and it was suggested that I cover Savage next. So I've got set up here the one squad the way you would want to ideally set them up for shifting priorities, where 2 units are just barely overlapping, barely contesting this far objective, so that if either one of them ends up going first, you still have control of that objective. And just on the edge as much as possible, so that our primary is as close to the middle as possible for when we set up here, trying to get as close as possible to where Savage is going to end up. Now, the ability we're going to be looking at is Unwitting Brute, his innate ability where when an allied Separatist Alliance primary unit or allied Dathomirian primary unit starts its activation within 3 of Savage, then he gets a dash for free. So we're going to start off with all 40mm bases, so the smallest bases. Start off with that, see if we can make it work to be within 3. Dooku does have a ability that would help us with that. I'll get to that later. So for now, we're going to pretend that it's Asajj, and well, we can't go with Mother Talzin either, because she also has an ability that would help out. So we'll say that this is Maul, and then yeah, the supports are going to be 40mm bases as well as the other secondary. And so we've got them set up as ideally as we can. So now we'll deal with the squad that's going to have Savage. Now we'll put our supports, obviously our secondaries. So Savage is going to be over here to be on the close side to our other primary. Ideally, when we deploy, we would have two different units contesting this. So looks like we're just out here. There. And then, so Savage is going to be over here on the middle one, contesting that, which we are contesting quite easily. So we can maybe pull him back a bit this way, try to get him closer to our other primary. Let's see. Make sure she's within 1 there. And he's contesting. Oops. Okay, so there's our spot for him. Now, let's see if we are within range 3. Wow, look at that. You can be within range 3. Even with everything being 40 millimeter bases. So, there you go. As long as you have him in the middle, you want to, I guess what I did, which helped, I think, was make sure that these guys on the edges were just barely contesting those edge points, to move that squad closer together. And so that gave us definitely some wiggle room. So let's see, we can actually, oops, we can probably get him closer to more forward to contest that objective. So yeah, he's probably not quite as far forward as you would generally want to deploy. You could have him more over here to contest still, but yeah, I think you can quite easily get him in within that range 3. And that's even without any shenanigans. Now, I guess I'll go over some other things to note about Savage. So when this is Dooku, Dooku has the tactical ability to move a separatist, to give a separatist character within 3 a dash, and himself a dash. So if he was not within range 3 of Savage here, let's say we deployed him more forward, what you can actually do is have Dooku take his dash from that tactical ability and become within 3, because the tactical abilities happened first. That was confirmed regarding Django's reactive ability as well. The tactics ability goes first, and then any abilities that are start of activation, such as Savage, Unwitting Brute, and Django's Not So Fast, they happen after the tactical ability happens. So Dooku could take his dash first, getting within range 3 of Savage, and then you would check the range 3, and then he would go. So in that case, then Dooku could have 3 people dash for free before he even does any actions. Same or similar with Mother Talzin. Her tactical ability gives a Dathomirian a dash, and that one is a global effect. So she could either be giving herself or Savage a dash to get within range 3 again of each other, and then he would get his dash. Now, of course, what I had all set up here was I had a whole lineup of 50 millimeter bases, including Grievous, the B2s, and the B1s. And I was going to use that to slowly move things in, because even if your supports have 50mm bases, that could shift your primary closer as well. And so, you know what? Let's do it anyway. Actually, let's see, because the thing that's not ideal about our current setup is that we actually only have one unit contesting this left side point. So really, what I could be doing from the start is just setting up the one support there, because it really doesn't matter if it's 2 or 1 of the same unit, because either way, if they get drawn, they're both going to move away. So I could have done that to squeeze them together more, but we already have that wiggle room. However, let's say that we want to put Savage in our proper contesting state here, so that we have our 2 units on the point, contesting that point. So now he's definitely further away. He's probably outside of range 5 even, because the primaries, oh no, he's not. He's just inside range 5 there. Because the primaries, well, they're a little closer than range 5, I guess, as well. Wonder, just outside of range 4. Yes. Okay. So now we'll see if someone with a bigger base can help us to get within 3 from there, just so that this isn't a super short video, I guess. So what should we do here? Let's start with swapping out Grievous as our primary over here. Alright, so both contesting over there. And get that guy there. Definitely more than close enough. And this will not be within 3 because we've only gained a centimeter. Yeah, we've got quite a ways to go here. It's probably not going to work, but yeah, because we basically have 3 inches more to go. But let's see. Let's swap in some B2 supports. Let's put them over here. The problem is, if we want to actually have 2 units contesting still, because so far all of our secondaries are still on a 40mm base, so there's no 50mm secondary base to help us get our ideal 2 units contesting over here. Yeah, that's going to be holding us back, isn't it? There, there, and there. Yeah, we basically gotta move this until he touches, and then do our 1 inch from there. So yeah, that's still not going to be enough there. But this is kind of the best we can do with this side. Now with this side, we could swap some B1s in there. Similar thing. Let's go touch there. Yeah, our limiting factor here, I think, continues to be the 40mm secondary bases. Yeah, because he's still, I don't think that moved him any closer. So really, it really is if you have the tactical ability on your primary unit, then you could have either him dash within range 3. So that would be if you had Talzin or Dooku. So I'll have Dooku here. That's going to pull Django back. Of course, perfecting all of this is going to break some rules in your, some measurement rules. My attempts to perfect this, but we're just testing if it's possible. Okay, so there's Dooku. And let's say that we pulled Dooku first. Then where do we need to end up to be within 3 Savage. Basically gotta go sit on the objective there. So we could dash mostly forward, but towards the center and get within 3 of Savage and be able to set off that that dash that he gets. Now, if this is Talzin, then Talzin could give him the dash instead, where the primary is a little bit further backwards. So let's see, we might as well get rid of him because he's just in the way. Let's see if he can get within there, which he can, but it's a very horizontal type of movement. But I guess you're doing that so that he can get a second dash. So it may be worthwhile to have the first dash only give a little bit of movement into the board, while the second dash, which awards you the second dash. The problem is, I guess, with taking that second dash, is that now, if this is a Sage or Maul, now you're out of range 3 there. So you win some, you lose some, really. So basically, if you want to get the most out of Savage and his innate movement, you could have Dooku and Talzin being able to dash him into range to get that second dash before she does her turn, or Dooku getting a dash himself in range, which allows Savage to get his dash. But really, that would be a list that's kind of built around getting the most out of Savage, basically. So any other list is probably not particularly built around Savage. Maybe you're just trying him out as another secondary to swap in. So in those cases, to get your money's worth out of Savage, I guess you're probably gonna end up putting him on the center point, which is easier if some of your supports or primary is Grievous, or for supports that they're on a 50 mil base, because then you can really get people closer to the center in order to more easily be within range 3 of the primary from the other squad. One more thing to go over. As you may have noticed, I have this mat marked, pre-marked with the objectives for both missions. The first one being shifting priorities, of course, but I also have it marked and ready to go for Sabotage Showdown, which is the map that's going to be coming out in November, or the mission. So let's look at that. So we've got, our bottom line is 2 objectives. So you're not having to split between 3, which should make it easier, but they are further forward. So let's take a look at actually deploying for that mission and what we can do here. So on this side, calculation wise, or actually I did on the table see how much room you have to deploy so that there are 2 units on each contesting each objective. It's a decent amount of wiggle room, as you can see there. So let's see how far we can push this in here. We put him there. Oops. Put him within range there. Down a little bit back. Oops. Too many arms and staffs and lightsabers, and etc. Okay, that's got the 2 just in range there. So we'll leave the last guy out of the way again, even though he'd be somewhere here or something. And then we'll try to do a similar thing with Asajj here. So if you go like that, we pretty much had him straight ahead. Is that within? Yeah, it's definitely within 2. And we can have another one there. Okay, so that's got some wiggle room there. And yes, lots of wiggle room to get your innate ability off on that, whoever, no matter who activates which primary first. So that one is, this mission is, I would expect, a lot easier to deploy with. You've got lots of wiggle room, but even if you're trying to get that interaction where each point is covered by 2 units, not just 2 characters, but both units from the squad, you still have good wiggle room to have Savage within 3 of both primaries. All right, I think that probably more than covers it. So thank you for watching this video, and feel free to send me more suggestions of different interactions that you'd like to see on the actual table, and I'll see you next time.